What is going on, guys? It's the MaD Dragon. We're on to the final round of the Six Nations, which of course means we need to sort out our final fantasy team. I'm up into 83rd. Can we have a top 50 finish? That would be great. Probably not going to happen, but it's always fun to have a go at. A few people take the fantasy a little bit too seriously. It's going to be a bit of fun to sort out your team. A lot of it ends up being kind of luck-based as well, but my luck has been against me this Six Nations compared to where it was in the Autumn Nation series last year, where I did so well. The Six Nations, a little bit rougher. A few players last week for me doing pretty well. Blair Kinghorn, specifically, did pretty well. Ollie Slightstone got his 2 tries benched this week. DuPont out. Jack Dempsey out. Anyone else benched or not? No one else to be benched and stuff. But as we usually do, let us purge the team and build it from scratch in the video, because I enjoy doing it. I think it's a lot more fun just to see my methodology, my chaos method of how I go about picking these teams. There's no rhyme or reasoning or order. I just like to jump in and make it as we go. So let us destroy our whole team as well, and we will get into it. So team announcements have come out. The games going on this week: France going up against Scotland, England versus Wales, and Ireland going up against Italy as well. My predictions for this week have been a France win, an Ireland win, and I'm leaning towards England, although I think Wales players could actually score pretty well in this round as well, going up against England. Wales like to take a little step up as well, so I don't think Wales players are too bad to actually look at for this round either. But the big game for me this weekend that I can just see going overboard is going to be France. France versus Scotland is one that I'm really looking forward to, but also the thing on the board for France is if they win the game with the try bonus point, they win the Six Nations. End of. Nothing anyone can do about it. It's just done and dusted and over. So, for me, I'm thinking France are backing that all the way. They've got the home advantage. I'm really favouring France. So, my first guy to get in here, who I took off last week, is BLBRE's going back into the squad. He is on for being the #1 try scorer of all time in a single Six Nations. You know, they're going to give him the ball. They're going to give him the ball. He's going to do stuff. Likewise, I'm expecting Ramos to have a big kicking game. So Ramos is going back in there for me at my fullback shirt. Someone's got to get in. I don't think it would be a terrible move to lock out France in the back three. In all honesty, Damien Penaud can certainly, as we saw last week, break away at any point in the game and run over. No Antoine Dupont this week. Certainly could look at Maxime Lucu. Gaël Ficou has come back in as well. In the backs of France, which could be one to have a look at. But Paul Boudehon's been doing pretty well for me. I've had him over in the Superbru League for quite a few weeks now, and Paul Boudehon's been scoring well. But my 2 French backs that I absolutely want to lock in, and the lock department I'm not quite so sure on for France, nor the props. Mavaka might do well at hooker, but I'm really favouring Ireland for that position. So rest of my French players, I'm sort of looking out here, and I'm thinking that actually let's have a crack at putting a few people. So I think Aldreet is someone that just consistently does well going into that #8 shirt. I'm kind of tempted by Maxime Lucu. I've got a feeling like he might be slightly cheaper, and he also had such a good game last week, so I feel like Maxime Lucu coming in there could also be a good pick. That leaves us on 177 stars to fill out the rest. At 10 then, I'm going to sling Marcus Smith in here. He's playing fullback once again for England. That typically seems to be where he gets a good few points running those extra meters from the fullback position. Ramos is already going to get a few kicking points. I think Finn Smith's probably looking to kick over Marcus Smith, so he might not get those kicking points, but just the meters made and stuff, I certainly can see a lot. George Ford is also on the bench, so I see if George Ford's coming on, I'm assuming that Finn Smith is coming off for him, and Marcus Smith is looking to spend most of that game out in the fullback shirt as well. Likewise then, elsewhere, Ben Earl, yeah, just got to get him in. Just Ben Earl's just consistent. Tom Curry's scored really well. I don't think Tom Curry would be a bad pick in there either, but Ben Earl's just a very capable player. The lock department, one that's caught me a few times now. Ollie Chesham, someone I've not been picking, but had another superb game last round, and I certainly want to look to get him in. Could look at some England backs here as well. Unfortunately, the centre partnerships, Dingwall not necessarily doing a lot for me last week. Freeman has moved in now, so you're going to have to pick a back 3 to put him in. Same with, like Elliot Daly's playing at 11 this week, but he may also be coverage for that centre position as well, so you've got to lock that out as well. Hooker from Ireland for me, Dan Sheehan. I always pick Dan Sheehan. I think he's such a good player. Ireland also going up against Italy, which is an area that I feel like it's got to be worth having a winger in there as well. Right, so let's go over to they do have Lowe or they have Hansen. Lowe is someone, you know, it's always great to have him in a team. I'm just looking at that difference of stars. I'll chuck him in for now. That might drop down to Hansen just to try and save those 4 stars. I absolutely would prefer to have James Lowe now that he's back in, though. But, you know, Mac Hansen there for now. Going at the number 8 shirt. Oh, man, you know, you got Jack Conan starting alongside Caelan Doris as well. They're all worth a lot. A lot of these Irish boys just worth a lot. Let's try and see if we can squeeze Caelan Doris in for the meantime. 71 stars. We're slowly beginning to chip away. Although we didn't have a great necessarily game last week, I still think just for the sheer cheapness that is Will Griff-John, I'll chuck a Will Griff-John in there just to try and get a position covered for me. Will Stewart is also actually not that bad on 9.8, but again, you can see the scores next to their names. They're not scoring wildly, but you know, 12.5 still there on Will Stewart. Let's chuck Will Stewart in there for now to seal up my English players. I'll have a look at that centre partnership again, maybe further on. Lock department as well. I think I might go David Jenkins. I was really considering him, but actually he's quite expensive, 15.9. But he does score so well so often. I think against England as well, he might do an awful lot of tackling. Let's chuck him in there. How are we doing stars-wise? 37. We're certainly chopping our way through our currency at the minute. Centre-wise, I'm going to go for Joe Roberts, mainly because although he's in at centre, he is actually playing out on the wing this weekend, which sort of gives me an extra back 3 player to try and squeeze that in there. It was something I didn't really utilise enough, I think, with Jamie Osborne when he was doing the same for Ireland. So I'm going to pick Joe Robertson there. He's also only 10.5, so that gives me a little bit more wiggle room elsewhere. Other centres, I mean, I want to maybe look at Ireland, but I assume all of Ireland are going to be absolutely loads. Henshaw's 14, Ringrose is 13, Bundyacki's 15 to come on from the bench. Let's go for Ringrose and see where that leaves me at. 13.4 is actually not as bad as I've ever done in one of these first round of drafts. Super Sub coming in. I've only got 3. I kind of want to have an Ireland player, to be honest. Who's fitting within my budget? I don't even know who I've got left. Oh, no, I already have 4 Ireland players. I forgot I had Caelan Doris in there. So I've got my 4 French. I've got my 4 Irish boys in there. I've got 4 English players as well. 3 Wales players. I could try and drop someone purely to get them in to come in from the bench. I don't think it's a bad idea to look at French forwards. Okay, so rejigs have been completed. I still wasn't able to just do it in one sweep exactly how I wanted. So not too many changes, to be fair. I'm pretty happy with how I've been able to end up. So I've still got my BLBRA, Tomo Ramos combo, because I just think he's going to be getting tries. Tomo Ramos is going to get kicking points all day long. James Lowe just for, you know, a winger to have against Italy. Managed to get Menoncello in there, because I really wanted to have some more Italian players. I feel like I really haven't picked Italian players over this tournament. So glad to get Menoncello in there for the centre game. Joe Roberts, for even though he's positioned as centre, he's playing wing for Wales against England, so it basically gives me like a 4th winger to be able to have in there, so that's what I've gone for him. Similarly with Marcus Smith playing fullback at 10 over Finn Smith, even though you're going to lose the kicking points, even though, but hopefully meters made from Marcus Smith will be extra. Maxime Lucu at scrum half, just, you know, no Dupont in, but I thought he had a very, very good game, and is probably the person I'm looking at. You know, those little sneaky sniping runs, I can certainly see Maxime Lucu going for them. Back row, 3 number 8s, but everyone can play these positions, so we've got Greg Aldreet at 8, Ben Earl at 7, and Caelan Doris at 6, even though, of course, they all, you know, knowingly play number 8 as well for their teams. That should be a pretty decent back row, I would like to believe. Lock department, David Jenkins, I was expecting just a tackle all day long versus England. He's a bit of a workhorse, so I've not necessarily noticed along the way. Ollie Chesham, I think he's up and coming. This is hopefully going to get right up to his peak for this game now. Hopefully get some good points. Dan Sheehan, a hooker, someone who just can't leave out. Will Stewart and Will Griff-John, mainly just they're slightly cheaper options, but able to have the double prop in there. And then I've gone for an outside call. I've got nothing to lose. I'm like 80th in the league out of, like, I don't know even how many people we've got. We've got like 200 300 people in the league, but I'm 80th. I'm probably not going to get to number 1, so I'm going for an outside pick this week. I'm going for McCarthy to come in there as the replacement Irish hooker, and my belief is going for hoping that because of where Ireland sit in the table, they know a try bonus point could be, you know, a big thing for them. That in that second half, on comes McCarthy, and they go for those driving walls, and suddenly that turns into a massive variance of points. Probably unlikely, probably not going to happen, but you know what? He's also quite a cheap option. He's allowed me to get away with the stars. I'm left with my 1 star of budget and able to get it in. Captain-wise, for me, it's leaning between James Lowe and BLBRA. James Lowe against Italy, I'm expecting him to do well anyway. But I'm going for BLBRE mainly because of just how in form he's been across the Six Nations, but also knowing he needs like one more try to be able to take that top try scorer in a single tournament thing. I just feel like the team's going to feed him. I feel like the ball's got to get there. Tries have to come over on that wing. And also the way Wales were being able to get past the Scottish team. They had that try disallowed. It was down that wing as well. I'm hoping that's something that France can exploit, and hopefully that's going to be a decent captain pick for me. Let me know down in the comment section, guys, who's making your team? Who is your captain? Who's going to be your super sub? All of that fun stuff. I'll see you all on Monday's video to go over the results of not just the weekend, but also crowning our champion in the MaD Dragon League. I look forward to it, guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.